All right, there we go. Well, let's see here. And first of all, I'm just going to wait for a few people to file in so I can get on with this live. While that's going on, let me just do a couple things behind the scenes. Okay. Let's see what we have here. Okay. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope everything's cool. Got a lot of last minute crazy stuff going on. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there's a riot going on in LA, or there was. Oh, okay. And a lot of winter type of stuff going on. It's so funny to me. I can't stop saying it that every time I see one of these bandits with their winter is coming chant, and they don't understand and they don't realize, um, you know, a lot of the damage. Char Willie in the house, good seeing you. Um, a lot of the damage or how damaged they are, because it's funny how I just find it weird. It's just weird to me how you see these channels popping up. By the way, the Kevin Samuels tribute channels are probably the number one Black community channels in YouTube. And what I mean is, I'm being nice saying Kevin Samuels tribute, whether really they're just bullshit channels that talk smack about Black women because they have nothing else to talk about. And that because that's what losers do. Losers talk about those who support them the most. And that's what's been going on. So basically, yeah, that's been going on. And we have some stuff coming up about, you know, uh, Trump having issues or concerns because his boy is giving up the really, quite honestly, it's what he said, what um what Mr. Tesla boy said has been known for a long time. It's what so shocking is hearing it from one of his allies. I mean, hearing it from one of Trump's buddies. Everybody knew Trump was basically, in the Diddy department. He's in the Diddy department. But what's strange is that to hear it from somebody who's so close to him, literally his brother in arms, you could say, um, that it was a little bit shocking to hear that. I'm just going through some ideas, some clips right now. I guess what I'm going to do first is bring up a reminder of what winter is coming is really about. Winter is coming and has arrived when things that you thought, things that you thought um, you got away with, you didn't. That's when the winter is here. And if you notice, guess who's on the stage now? This is Diobra. This is Diobra. He thought he thought he could jump a judge. Remember? He thought he could jump a judge. He thought he could jump a judge. Let's see what's going on right now with Deobra.
For self-awareness pertaining to his violent history. On page 26, he noted, or I'm sorry, page 34, he noted that Mr. Redden's impaired judgment is based on personality dynamics and not psychosis. So Mr. Redden was perfectly aware of what was going on at the time he committed the crimes in this case.
Yep. Yeah, that's a funny thing. A lot of men, not just black men, but just men in general, when they get in deep trouble, they always try to they they know they're in trouble when they have to go for the, oh yeah, I was not really sane at the time kind of rap. That's what's going on here. Here we go.
I think that what you notice pretty glaringly when you look at his criminal history is that Mr. Redden has repeatedly failed to recognize that he is the common denominator in these cases. It is his actions that end him up in situations such as this. It is not him being victimized by other people. It is his conduct. And until he accepts responsibility for reforming his conduct and for his poor impulse control, he's really incapable of being rehabilitated, because if he doesn't believe that he's done anything wrong, what's the incentive to him?
Right. And that happened a lot. That's been happening a lot. Basically, let me see if I can bring up that stalker clip. Let's see if I have it here. Hold on one second. Okay. How do I get there again? I'm just getting used to StreamYard again. Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm going to save that one. It's going to be saved for another live. There's this, yeah, she really says, she sounds frightened. She so does, really. Yeah, she sounds like, she's like, I don't want to be in a room with this dude. I do not want to be in a room. Yeah. And then, yeah, Charlotte really says, people posting the picture of those two, Epstein. Yeah, man, yeah, you on it, you on it. Okay. Yeah, let me go. I'm going to start from the bottom, go up. Here's, here's another dude who saw that right there, and bring it into the mix. Remember him? He's up to 13. And basically, remember, I guarantee you in a few months, I'm just saying it right now, in a few months, I guarantee you he's going to be complaining about child support, paying too much child support, though he goes around impregnating women all the time. And it's not, the sad part is it's no longer, people are like, oh, well, that's a celebrity. It's not like it's real. Well, yes, look, we have dudes out there who are nobodies who have 10 to 20 women pregnant and stuff, have kids by different. Let's break it down. Here we go.
He's a man who seems larger than life. He's charming. He's funny. He says the right things, and he's charismatic. But underneath that smile and the tailored suits, Nick Cannon lives a complicated reality that.
A complicated reality is a good way of putting that he's probably a narcissist of some sort. And that's basically what it is, because he can't control women. He can't control women in the normal way that he wants to. So what he does, like a lot of men do, is they'll put a baby in somebody, and then like DDG is a perfect example of that. And that's their investment into control of that woman. That's why he's doing it. He's not doing it because he loves kids per se. He's doing it because he wants to control as many women as he can. And a great way of controlling women is by chaining them to a child that technically is supposed to be his, but really, quite honestly, if a man has a child by a kid and then cuts, how can you really say that child belongs to that man? That happens anyway in the house. Indiana, Mom and Tiffany Jackson. Good to see you right here. Just doing a nice little Saturday night, set. Right now we're talking about Nick Cannon and men like Nick Cannon. Actually, I can't stress that more. Nick Cannon and men like Nick Cannon. He's trying to get control in a certain way, and the way he does it is by being literally irresponsible and having children that he cannot in no way father. And what I mean by father is be a true father too.
That many refuse to confront. Nick has fathered 12 children with 6 women. Some claim he's rewriting the rules of
fatherhood. We could talk about the responsibility of the women, but the bottom line is this, is that he's old enough and mature enough, hopefully, or we hoped he was, that he would at least, put a plastic on it, but he doesn't. And he does it on purpose because he wants to control women.
Motherhood. Others see a man unraveling in real time. But when one man intentionally creates fragmented households coast to coast, it's no longer about a lack of contraceptives or carelessness. It points to something.
I'm glad she brought that up. You could say we're talking about Nick Cannon, but we're not just talking about Nick Cannon. And I think that's an important point to make. Hold on one second. I got to try to get this camera right. There we go. That's a little bit better. Yeah, you have to understand that's not the problem. The problem is that there's a lot of men out there, and I'm talking like they try to say, oh, it's only 15, 20%. That's a lot, really. But it's really more like 40% of men out there making multiples and having children they can either not afford to have or they simply just don't care.
Something deeper, something wired in the mind. Today, we're diving into the psychological abyss behind Nick's relentless urge to reproduce and what it might reveal about his psyche. But before we jump into this tomfoolery, don't forget to scoop up something to munch on at RRG Snacks.
rrsnacks.com, y'all. Get something to eat.
Our online concession stand that has an assortment of Applewood smoked bacon jerky, freeze-dried goodies, and butter toffee peanuts.
Let me pause that right there. Yeah, that's clear. Here we go.
Nick didn't just wake up one day and decide to create a modern-day compound of offspring. This pattern and the insatiable need to spread his legacy points to an internal storm few can name and even fewer understand. His story is one of contradictions. He was raised in the church and is the son of a preacher. He often speaks of God and divine purpose, yet actively creates unstable circumstances. After welcoming twins,
right. So, a son of a preacher, which blows away that, oh, wow, good black men are from son of preachers and stuff. Obviously, that didn't help.
Filed for divorce from Mariah Carey, and their split was...
Also, he filed for the divorce from Mariah Carey, probably because, one, she makes more than him. Number two, she wasn't putting up with his bullshit, which was probably a lot.
Finalized in 2016.
He did manage to stick 2 kids in her, right?
16. What followed wasn't just a lifestyle shift, it was an unraveling. The public saw a man embracing consensual non-monogamy, but beneath the surface, it looked more like a coping mechanism dressed up as freedom.
Ask yourself, does that really just sound like one person? Like, that sounds like a common illness in our community.
Has admitted that before adopting this open approach to relationships, he was a toxic partner. He lied, cheated, and destroyed trust without blinking an eye.
So there you go. That's once a cheater, always a cheater. And that's probably why he wanted to get out of the relationship with other women because, basically what he's saying is that I'm a cheat. He thinks just like all those Kim and Samuelites think, let a man cheat in peace. And then you expect to hold your value as a man by having a negative trait, okay, that women don't like, but you want to be seen as a high value man. Numerically, maybe, that's a big maybe, because if he had to pay all his child support, he'd probably be broke, but he probably, bounces around a lot. Let's keep it going
A
here.
toxic partner. He lied, cheated, and destroyed trust without blinking an eye. So now he says he's doing things differently. He tells his partners up front.
So you would think that if you're doing things differently, it's for the better. The only thing that changes now, he tells everybody he's going to cheat, and that he's a 304. That's the only difference. Why? Seeking knowledge in the house.
That he isn't promising forever. But what he may not fully see is that this new version of him might be more organized, but just as chaotic.
Exactly. So, and the funny thing is he wants to be seen as a role model. Men like this want to be seen as a role model, just like Shannon Sharp wanted to be seen as a role model, just like Cam Newton wants to be seen as a role model. But what role are they trying to? I mean, look at their basic habits. It's all bad. It's like, no, I guarantee you, these men, if they had daughters, they would not want them to meet them. They wouldn't want their daughters to meet and date them. But it's funny, nobody thinks about it like that anymore.
The divorce from Mariah was more than the end of a marriage. It was the loss of the one relationship that grounded him. She
didn't really ground him. She just probably tried to control the relationship as much as she could, because she and that's another thing that a lot of men don't realize. If you're living in chaos and the woman is in her peace and she tries to have a relationship with you, she's going to try to control the relationship, because you're acting like a little child. You're acting like a little kid. So she's going to be like, bro, you got to be at work in an hour. You got to get up and get ready to go. And men see that as a masculine trait only because men are expressing a feminine vibe that which is ridiculous. I mean, it's not only a feminine vibe, it's more so, in fact, it's more so a childish vibe. Men are behaving like children, acting like they don't have any responsibilities. And it's funny when a woman tries to take the reins of a relationship or a marriage to try to at least keep the family grounded. And that's where you get that BS about men saying, well, women are being masculine. They're trying to, they have to, if the family is going to survive. Too many scenarios are out there where the woman has to take over a relationship because the man is just mentally not there. You've seen it 1,000 times. This is one of those inconvenient truths. You don't want to hear about it, but that's what's up. That's what's going down.
The image of success, the pinnacle of fame, the woman who gave him structure. When that ended, something unhinged inside him. Rather than sit with the grief and rebuild, he scattered himself. And with each child born after their split, it's as if he's trying to piece together.
That's a funny thing, too. A lot of these men, they come out here, well, you're trying to trap me. You're trying to trap me. Talking about women wanting to try to trap them, even though they don't have as much money as a woman does. They don't have any place to live or anything like that. So basically, they have nerve. It's really kind of like a hyperbole, because basically, it's really actually he's trapping the woman by having a kid by that woman. I want to jump over to DDG real quick, and then we got to move forward.
Get ready. Y'all get ready.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to move forward. So here's DDG. Well, he lost. That's the one thing. His emergency motion. You know, he filed an emergency motion to keep her baby, not his, because he doesn't have a child. If he wanted to have a child, he would have been loyal in the relationship with Hallie and treated Hallie with respect instead of talking smack about her every minute he got a chance. By the way, it was like that from the beginning. So basically, he lost. He lost. Little motion didn't work, and here's probably the look on the judge's face when he read or she read the motion. Really? Really? What he doesn't see, it just shows you how narcissistic dude is, because he actually thought he really was going to win when all he has shown is a toxic behavior. And I'm not even sure if she had to even file a response. I think the judge just probably said no, F no, and called it and moved on to the rest of their other, paperwork, whatever that may be, you know. Another dude who's in chaos regardless. If she was, he already has another child, by the way, who he doesn't take care of either. Because if he was taking care of the child, he'd be taking care of the child. He would be saying something like, okay, me and Hallie didn't work out, but she's holding down, she's treating the my child with respect. So let me go catch up with my other child that I don't see at all. That's what he should say, but he doesn't do that. See, he's another man trying to control women. He is trying to control women. He's not trying to have kids, but he knows he has to have kids to control women. Hallie wasn't having any part of that. I'm glad she did that. And it's really disgusting to me to see all these people trying to blame Hallie for a bandit being a bandit. That's basically what's going down and what's getting down. Let's just face it. If you don't ignore everything he's done lately, read all this crap he was doing when they just first got together. And everybody's like, oh, she's just trying to be, a bitter baby mama and all that kind of stuff. Have you heard the kind of bitter crap this Mcknight has been saying? It's crazy. It's like he sounds like he hates her, which I do believe he does. In fact, I do believe he does. So he basically got into it for the same reason that many other men get into relationships, is to control somebody. He's not, and if the regular stuff doesn't work or he financially can't control her, then what they do, they control them by owning them, by making them have their kid. Because remember now, a lot of people, they say, well, it's out 50-50, 50-50, she could have been practicing safe sex or whatever like that. Number one, it's easier for a man to do it. Number two, if a man is a true leader, if he is a leader, then he is not going to make that woman pregnant if they are not supposed to be pregnant. And he's if anything, all he proved is he's not a leader. YC says, Tiffany says this. Tiffany says, who's trying to trap a cyclone? These men are flying around, creating havoc. Yep. And no one wants to bring that into a home and live with it. Bars. And then YC Knowledge agrees by saying, Tiffany girl, yes. And they dump baby batter all over the world. They only, LOL, they ex-traffickers with ex-traffickers with passports. Bars. Yeah. That's what's going down. Let's get another winter coming clip going right now. Winter is coming. Winter is here. Let's break this down. I have a lot of crime clips coming up too. Let's go to some vindication though right now. Remember Sade, that poor young lady? This is what's going on.
At this point, I have received verdicts. They are in a proper legal fashion. Who is my foreperson?
Let me pause that right there. I've seen this judge on a lot of cases, but let me bring up the volume a little bit. Where did they put that now? That's not it. Is this it? Yeah, I guess that's it. Wow. Okay, they changed the way it looked. Used to be a square. Okay, so I just want to get some volume up on that. Okay, here we go.
Person? May I have your name and number for the record?
Juror number 1, Aaron
And you did sign these 4 verdicts and date them today?
Wait, no, that's not the same one. It's not the woman I was talking about. Let me get more volume on this.
I will now read them into the record.
Let me know if you can hear the volume all right. Put a 1 in the chat if it's on the volume is cool. Put a 2 in the chat if it's too quiet. 3 if it's too loud.
As to count 1, the verdict reads, we, the jury, find the defendant, Maxwell Anderson, guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as charged in count 1 of the information. As to count 2, we, the jury, find the defendant, Maxwell Anderson, guilty of mutilating a corpse as charged in count 2 of the information. As to count 3, we, the jury, find the defendant, Maxwell Anderson, guilty of arson of property other than a building as charged in count 3 of the information. As to count 4, we, the jury.
It's totally different with his haircut off. But I guess when you're in court for deleting somebody, yeah, you're gonna do everything you can to look decent.
Find the defendant, Maxwell Anderson, guilty of hiding a corpse as charged in count 4 of the information. At this
Why
point,
does it look so dumbfounded? Like, oh, smack! I am so surprised. You know. By the way, he is definitely the Wookiee of the week. Definitely. Poor Sade, may she rest in peace.
I will poll the jury. What that means is as follows. I'm going to have the first juror stand in the back row on the far right. I'm going to ask you your juror number, and I'm going to ask you, well, stand and your juror number? 45. Juror 45.
Now, let me stop it right there because what I want to bring up is this real quick. I've heard some disgusting discussions about Sade because she was well they don't even know she's a whether she's a divester or not, but they kind of put her in that department because she went out with this dude, but it was kind of disgusting, and it's funny, and it's funny. Strange. What I mean by funny, strange, it's funny, strange. And it's exactly the hypocrisy you should expect from the red pill community, where they use this as a I told you so moment. Okay. They use this as an I told you so moment that she got deleted, correct? But they don't want anybody to use Kevin Samuel's demise by his own actions as a told you so moment, which is a huge learning lesson. Don't chase after 304s, and not take care of your health like he did. They don't say now they're offended if they bring that up. If you bring up a learning lesson about this is what happens to a guy who does not take care of himself, but his urges, is just to basically have sex. That's all Kevin Samuels was about, was having sex. Because if that's what he wasn't about, he wouldn't brag about having a rotation of 6 women. So back to this guy and Sade. They're trying to call her a divester and see this is what you guys divestors get, which is like it's just like a double hypocrisy. Number one, black men date out more than black women do by double. Let me make it clear. Black men date out more than black women by the percentage of double. I think it's like 12 and 25%. Black men date out 25%. Black women 12%. Okay. Black women are unfortunately more race loyal right now than black men, and unfortunately it's not helping. It's not helping. So that's one part of it. Number two, I hate to say that, but niggas getting murked all over the place, or put in deep trouble all over the place by other races of women. And we've seen that. One guy, I remember one guy was stabbed. I'm sure you guys remember that. Another guy was accidentally shot in the chest by his, and this is no knock on other races of women. it's just, I find it strange that while all this is going on, all this, black male deletion of non-black women is going on, from non-black women is going on. The main complainers of those situations then want to bring up this situation here, the Sade situation, and say, oh, told you so. See, you guys shouldn't have been divested. And I saw one evil woman saying that, bringing up that. And I was like, this is just low. This is just low. But that's what's going down.
Were these and are these your verdicts? Thank you. Next juror. Juror 23, were these and are these your verdicts? Thank you.
So this is really amazing too, and I'll tell you why. This was like, they're done. And for a black person in any situation to be just like unanimously receiving justice, even in passing, is amazing in this world. So my hat's off to the jury of this trial. They said this is too disgusting. F this, F protecting, the Aryan blood or whatever you want to call it. This is disgusting. We're going on the facts. They went on the facts. They came up with the right solution. Now, how he's going to be prosecuted, how he's going to be punished is going to be the next step. By the way, believe it or not, the dude the former officer who shot Shani Massey, from what I heard, I think he's out on bail, believe it or not. So I wanted to bring up something that Angela Reddick's in the house, that Indiana Imam brought to my attention, because there's this myth. Remember the myth that Kevin Samuels had? Hold on one second. Let me see if I can bring that up. Let me see here. Mr. Winter is coming himself, more like Winter has passed himself. But and that's it. What was he talking about? Remember woman in the past or in the 50s. Let's see what he was about. Let's see what this crap is about right here. Let me switch over.
Was as a woman. So I think my value has increased because as you get older, you learn, you grow, you mature. So that's why I think my value has increased.
Women do not gain value in men's eyes with wisdom, age, and experience.
Let me break something down really quick about what he just said. Women don't gain value, and I agree with it. Women don't gain value in Bandits' eyes. Okay, in Bandits' eyes. That's what he forgot to say. He tried to say it was in men's eyes. It's in Bandits' eyes, and I'll tell you why. Every other race of men value experience in their women when they have a life. And I don't mean, see, he's thinking of the experience probably sexually because that's all he can do. That's all he's been about. That's why the only time he was successful is doing this stuff, telling men lies. But men like women with experience, knowledge, education, just not black men. Let me make it clear. Most black men, they are the ones that don't like that shit. Other men, they like to floss with their wives. And I know this for a fact. saying, oh, yeah, she's a doctor. Oh, yeah, she's a PhD. The difference is he says it with venom, and other races of men, they say it with pride, like, oh, yeah, she's a PhD. She runs a wing over at so-and-so hospital, blah, 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 blah. Whether she's good at it or not, who knows? It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is other races of men who have a more stable lifestyle have no problem with their wives being experienced, knowledgeable, informational, and with value. But let's listen to what he wants to say. Let's
gain value possibly in your husband's eyes, but not to just men on the market. You're older and used. No product.
Doesn't that sound weird coming from somebody who passed away from age? Doesn't that sound like, dude, you number one, they should have been telling him that when he was alive. Might have saved his life. But now you hear it's like, don't you might want to take this clip down? I'm just saying you might want to like not put this one up from a man with a condescending tone telling a woman she is aged. A man who has passed away. Doesn't that sound like a little kind of, I mean, you got to understand, even if you're in the red pill, you got to understand the strangity of that. And if you think like, why are you respecting the DEAD? Tanya Sweat in the house. Can you see in your Tanya Sweat? The DEAD. I remember this very same man disrespecting a woman, an icon, on her show. He made a whole show about it. Remember the one where he used the Grinch? He used the Grinch to portray her. Eartha Kitt, that's who it was. Eartha Kitt. Remember that? Where was the respect for her? Where was the respect for her? Where was the respect for Eartha Kitt? So yeah, miss me with that, oh, why don't you respect the dead? You red pillars thinking that crap.
Gains value. And you ladies will sit there and fight.
Here is a man, and I need to reiterate, this is a man who had no value. Even when he was making money, he had very little to no value. This is a man that allegedly would buy suits, $500 suits or whatever, and then return them like the next couple of days or whatever. Allegedly. And no, they didn't watch. These guys aren't watching, they're not watching Denzel Washington with bated breath or some earnestly successful man. No, they're watching Kevin Samuels because he talks crap about Black women and Denzel Washington does not. And they themselves said they are the majority. So, and I'm not going to argue that. I'm not going to argue that. What they're saying is that, yeah, we speak for the community. We speak for the community. Okay, well, if you do speak for the community and you disrespect Black women and you represent the community, then what good are you? Do you like being disrespected? Do you like being dogged out online? The biggest Black enterprise on YouTube is disrespecting Black women. You wouldn't think by the way they complain about other content creators, but if you were to look at the numbers, you would see disrespecting Black women is the fastest way to be popular on YouTube. It is. It's the most popular way to be. It's the fastest way to make fast money on YouTube.
Logic.
That don't hurt my feelings. I call for
I'm
your
not saying
life.
it's gonna hurt your feelings. It's the truth. Walking around with
it, and notice how he's saying that crap. They won't listen to what Denzel will say because Denzel doesn't have this kind of evil thought pattern. But let me get back to where I was going with this. Okay. Remember when Kevin was talking about how, yeah, back in the day in the 50s, the family, blah, 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 was together and all that kind of crap? Remember that? Let's hear it. Let's hear it straight from the Black women of those eras, of those times, of the past, the grandmas. Let's bring it up. Let's bring it up right now. We're going to get it going right now. This is brought to you by Indiana Mom. She brings this into the mix. If anybody feels compelled to speak, feel free to drop that link, bro. We'll drop that link. But for now, here we go. Here we go.
Hello, my diamonds, my Teletubbies. She's a true love here. Why our grandmothers stayed in toxic marriages?
Right. Right off the bat, we're getting this down. Here we go.
How many times have we heard, numerous times, listening to these men say, why can't women be like the women of yesteryear?
Mm-hmm.
Or like the women in the past? I mean, what's going on with these women of today?
Right.
And they feel that what these men don't realize is that just because those women were in marriages for 30, 40, and 50 years, that didn't necessarily mean that they were happy. Now I'm going.
Boom. I'm going to go back on some messages here. I want to put this out there. First of all, I'll say hello to Tanya Sweat. Tanya Sweat, it's good seeing you up in here. All right. Waxy Ganamano says, Angela, you have to say it again for the ninjas in this back, in the back. Please drop the mic on. Exactly that. Exactly that. Exactly that. Tiffany says, in a misogynistic, racist world, this does make sense. Everyone gains a boost to their ego when they see Black women being trashed on social media bars. Men feel better. Other races of women feel better. That's true. You know what the weird thing is though, Tiffany? These Black men who do this, there's more Black men that detest Black women than I would say other races of men now. I mean, don't get me wrong, other races of men do detest Black women, but I think Black men have now gotten to the mindset where they're both racist and misogynistic at the same time. The skin color doesn't make a difference. They're so, what's the word I'm looking for? Toxic. They're so toxic that they literally take on the behavior of who they would call their oppressor. So they actually literally oppress Black women more effectively because of one, Black men are in proximity to Black women, but number two, Black women give Black men more of a pass when it comes to receiving oppression. Yes. So let me break this down. This is from Sheila. I think she does good work. Here we go.
I'm going to share some clips with you right now, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. Now, I already shared this with you in one of my previous videos, but let's listen to this again.
Keep them barefooted and pregnant. Barefoot, the old saying they had, keep them barefooted in the winter and pregnant.
They were doing it way back then. Men were mass producing back then, even in the 50s, because she's in her 70s, right? So even in the 50s, they were mass producing. And they were doing it for control. I played the DDG and I played the what's his name for a good reason. I played was okay. Here we go. Nick Cannon for a reason. You have to understand this is what you're up against, ladies. These men are not trying. They're not trying to put on a condom. They're not trying to be responsible. They are not counting they are not like looking at their bank account and saying, hey, you know, I think I can afford a bundle of joy. They're not saying that. They're doing it for control. So you have to be extra, extra vigilant now because it's just the way it is. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you how they are thinking and how to defend yourself. Because they do not care.
And in the summer.
So the barefoot meant they didn't want you having shoes? What that mean, barefoot?
Where you gonna go and snow on the ground? You didn't have any shoes.
So they had the power to give y'all shoes or not give you shoes. In other words,
they were the only one working. That's why they didn't want you to work. You around him. You around the house in old slides, but they wasn't even in style then.
So y'all wouldn't have shoes and clothes if they didn't give it to you.
You asked for it. I need some money for another dress. Boy, then you already got hanging in the closet, been there 10 or 15 years out of style. You want some money for some makeup or something for your hair, you don't need it. Yeah.
So she's basically saying that the myth about families back in the 50s, 60s, maybe even the 70s was all about control. Women could not get divorced. They could not have bank accounts until the 70s, can believe it or not. So of course the men had more control over them. Tiffany says, thank you, DJ. I agree. Black men really hate Black women. I think it is a response to feeling as though they are so beaten by the system and they believe their Black mama who brought them here is to blame. Bars. White seeking knowledge. Black women, to our own detriment, try to have a deep understanding for Black men because of the known PTSD and traumas we face. To see hear these fools use it against us now and drag us for it. Exactly. And yeah, to see these fools use it against us and drag us for it. At KMABM. Yeah, why tell the truth? Why that is for sure. Here we go.
So that's when I heard them telling women that. I said, I'm getting me a job.
I hear you, lady.
So how was it for food when y'all wanted to eat or was hungry?
They go buy what they wanted. They go buy the groceries.
And so y'all had to eat whatever they had for
That's right, whatever they bought.
Shit.
And one woman older than me, she finally got divorced and she said, I'm getting divorced. She said, all he go buy is a pig feet. She said, that's what we have to eat. Go buy the cheapest thing they can buy.
Let's go.
And then
they married women for what?
A slave.
Okay, she just said it. Listen close.
She finally got divorced and she said, I'm getting divorced. She said, all he go buy is a pig feet. She said, that's what we have to eat. Go buy the cheapest thing they can buy.
Let's go.
And then
they married women for what?
A slave.
Yeah.
And when they find out they're going to get married, they sneak out there and have a woman on the side, a young woman.
We're having side chicks back in the day, too. See, that crap that these red pillars are spewing is that marriage to them is not what you think marriage should be. And you need to understand that, because if you go out on a date with a man that you like and he starts talking about, he starts kicking out that red pill jargon, you now know he is not going to be loyal. And you do know now he's going to be controlling. That's just the way. It's kind of like if a man was a supremacist. There's just certain things you expect from a supremacist. You don't expect them to be kind to other people who don't look like them. You don't expect him to do the right thing for people who don't look the same as him. It's the same here. The red pill community is probably one of the most bigoted communities, and it's only covered up because it's a large group of Black men. Kevin Samuels had about, I don't know, 1.5 million before he passed, maybe a little under that. There are other men on here literally with 1 million other men with millions of followers. Millions. Poor Man's Podcast comes to mind. That bigoted dude, in my opinion, has 1 million. Angry Man, who's about as ignorant as they come, and we don't even know if he's really Black. We don't even know if he's really Black. But he spews the hate speech. So basically, and he's got like 250, maybe 300,000 people. That's how well the truth of Black male hate speech, that's how much it sells for. Black males, put an apostrophe on top of that, S, Black males hate speech about Black women. That's how it goes. How about that hypocritical dude who said, never marry baby mama, never marry baby mama. What was his name? Fugazi. Remember him? But it's okay though if your baby mama is Caucasian. That's the message that we all got. And he's probably to this day still trying to ride that off. But a large portion of his following, they bid it. They're like, oh yeah, because really, it wasn't really about baby moms per se. It was about another angle of disrespecting Black women. That's what it was. Let me keep going here.
Mm-hmm. He come on. She done took care of the kids and all that, and clean house. He come on dress up and go out to that party with the young women. Well, hell, the woman can't go nowhere. She's too tired. She got to go to bed. Why didn't he come in and split the stuff up? Come in and help her, and both of them sit down and rest. No, they rest, but you don't get no damn rest. A man work, and a woman work is never done.
That's all right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Baby cry at night. You get up. You got to go to work the next day. You got a job too. Mm-hmm. Baby wake up out through the night crying. Will you be in about me, put on diaper? It's late and ignorant like they don't hear you. You get up. I remember I went to work one morning, and this white lady, she was
Basically, you get the gist. You get the gist. You get the gist. This has always been like this. It's just now worse. Because today, Black men feel more emboldened not to be married. So they still want control of women. And since winter is coming, not only they want control of women for access to sex, but they want it because they need a place to stay. Because winter is coming. Kevin Samuels was absolutely correct if he was referring to men. Winter is coming. It's here. Let me see if I can bring up something here. This is weird. Remember when I told you? Let me tell you the situation. No, let's just roll. Let's roll. Yeah. This is the Chow Time podcast. I kid you not. I kid you not. He named his channel that. The Chow Time podcast. If there's a culture that has nothing to do with us, it's Asian people. So you have to understand, number one, that's a good thing, really, in general, because it's not like it's just a better thing. I mean, why would you want to be interacting with a culture that is discriminated the most and also has a lot of volatile men in it? You wouldn't want to. But this guy, Mr. Chow Time Podcast, he runs to it. Now, I'm not sure what part of Asia he's from. It doesn't matter. But the fact of the matter that he actually makes a Kevin Samuels tribute channel in a culture that has not the fuck to do with him. It's amazing to me. And he's popular too. He's got 121,000 subscribers, real or not. Real or not. And he doesn't talk that much. He really doesn't. All he does is basically bellow red pill BS. The same stuff. He didn't even try to hide it.
Again, even as a person that is no longer living, his clips resurfaced about 2 weeks ago when he predicted the end of Tracee Ellis Ross, and that she would be only dating younger men. Tracee Ellis.
This is the funny thing. So he's nodding his head. Yeah, Tracee Ellis Ross. Yeah, it's the end of. What is the end mean? Because basically, if she's able to date younger men constantly, she has something. If they're trying to use her age against her, then what is it? Well, number one, she's wealthy. Her mom is legendary. Okay, she's living a pretty good life. Not even this motherfucker right here is living as good as Tracee Ellis Ross is, which brings me to another toxic trait that mostly comes from Black men, which is they love to criticize people that are doing better than them, whether it's men or women. Russell Wilson doing way better than them. There's 250 million reasons why. Plus, he has a life and a gorgeous wife and kids. But they still diss him. Okay, I'm not even done yet. Will Smith, they hate him because they feel like he lets his wife talk too much. Let's plateau. Welcome, welcome. But as messy as Will Smith's life might be perceived right now, he's doing way better than 99% of all other Black men. let that sink in. Let it sink in. Let it kind of flow on you. That we're literally making a culture of men that criticize other men and especially women that are doing much better than them. Like if they listen to what that person that they themselves criticize, they themselves would be doing better. Hence the problem in our community. Tracee Ellis Ross is doing just fine. And they're literally on here eating it up from a man who's not even from their culture, okay, about her. About a conversation that a man who passed away because he didn't take care of his own health and was too busy chasing 304s, as they would call them. As they would call them. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I would have never have thought. I mean, is he the next Pearly Things? Pearly Things was another one. You saw what happened with her. She just had nothing to do with you could call her evil, whatever. But the bottom line was this, is that it's not her fault these men were so weak. And it sounds me weird saying this because I find her disgusting, by the way. But it's not her fault. These men are so weak that they clamored to her for protection, to just Pearly Things. And now we have a new Pearly Things, and another one will come out. Because anything that's financially viable, why not? And Black men are used to giving their money, taking their money outside the community. So what's the big deal? I really don't have a big problem with him doing it because of his race. The problem is why are you doing it? If he was successful with his own people, he wouldn't be doing this. He wouldn't be. So just like Just Pearly Things was a throwout from her society, and if I've played clips in the past on her, where her own people showed more disrespect to her than I ever could. I played some clips. I was like, damn. I was like, wow, they do not like her. Here's another, and so I could only consider that this is the same here. It's the only, because what it's like, why are you here? He's here to make money. Exploit Black men and exploit Black women. Like he's doing right now. Right now he's exploiting, you know, a well-renowned actress, wealthy woman. Notice how it's always the wealthy women that they really go after. And here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing. Her and Kevin are the same age. Very close in age. She's still here. And he had the nerve to talk smack about her, but she's obviously way more healthy than he was. And if she hit a wall, well, it appears to me he hit a brick wall. I need to sink this into everybody, not only just the ladies, but the men too. What are you thinking? If you are really gobbling up crap from a group of people that generally wouldn't even consort with you, making them super successful. 121,000, 121,000 subscribers, 47,000 views just on this video. Bigotry sells. Misogyny sells like hotcakes. Like hotcakes. And he brought it.
Ross showed up to Michelle Obama's podcast and said exactly the same thing.
I didn't want to cover that one because I don't really care about her because, you know, obviously there was another video of like, oh, the Godfather was right about her.
Oh, so now he's disrespecting the former president's wife. Isn't that the former first lady? That's how bad a lot of black men, especially in the red pill, hate themselves. Where they're like, yeah, go on, man. Yeah, tell us about that. Yeah. Isn't that something? And notice he really, quite honestly, he just caught himself in a situation where it's like on the edge of copyright infringement. I'll tell you why. Because he literally said he's not going to talk about the content he has displayed on the screen. See, I'm talking about him. I'm talking about Kevin, who's in the screen with him, who's mostly on the screen with him. And I'm talking about beautiful Tracy Ellis, who I have no problem dating. And if she wants to go after a younger man, so be it. But the funny thing is this, that there's a difference from her dating younger men and all these old men dating little girls like Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe is dang near 60. He's really in Tracy Ellis's, you know, what would you call it? Tracy Ellis's range of dating. And this is where the hypocrisy comes in. Shannon Sharpe literally dated a little girl, a 19-year-old girl. These dudes still call him Unc. He is a role model, Shannon Sharpe. What does that tell you about our men? It's funny because everybody's like, oh yeah, you're just pandering to women. I know, really quite honestly, I'm disgusted with a lot of the men in our community's mindset. It's almost like we want to do things wrong. Why seeking knowledge? Anybody notice that Asians are being deported? He is just an opportunist, but for our men, our biggest culprit. Our men are the biggest culprits. Exactly that. Say something about Twan and people losing contracts and bubble snotting apologies. Yep. Bars. But just think about it. Tiffany Jackson says, Les Plateau says, Tiffany Jackson, yes, nothing against older men. DJ Chorus can get it too. Every man who truly loves woman deserves one. It's so rare. Thank you. Bars. Y'all are tearing up the chat. So let's see what else he's going to do.
This covers everything. So
Kevin Samuels did, and people are vindicating him even from the grave. But it's
what's funny to me is really what he's hearing. He should be making the speech. not O'Shea Duke Jackson. That's the problem. I don't think you should. I mean, you cannot. See, he's replacing because he's not. He doesn't know. He doesn't know anything. He just knows if he plays those clips with his mouth shut and just lets them roll, that these dumb niggas gonna love it. At the price of 121,000 of them. He doesn't know the idiosyncrasies of Kevin Samuel. Well, hell, actually, most of them don't, to be honest with you. They just like what he spews. They just like what he spews.
Interesting. There are more Kevin Samuels haters that are suffering right now, even after.
I mean, I think most of Kevin Samuels haters are suffering.
To diss him.
That was such a stupid statement. I told you, he doesn't know what he's even talking about. He's just repeating something that ugly, creepy nigga who goes around the world every once in a while has a baby somewhere else. I think it was told 5 years ago, that being O'Shea Duke Jackson. Okay, you should see I know you've seen O'Shea. You've seen him. He is not that good. He is not that good. I'm being nice saying he's not that good looking. But that's the type of men that are attracted to this genre of video. Toxic men. So the next time you go on a date and the guy brings up the guy somehow brings up Kevin Samuels in a glowingly way, go to the bathroom and never come back. Trust me, you are doing yourself a favor. So let me keep it going. Here we go.
Now, we all know about the famous Vivica A. Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Vivica A. Fox is one of the most notorious Kevin Samuels haters of all.
She's doing better than these niggas are. This is a funny thing. She's doing better than O'Shea. She's doing better than this fool on the screen. She's doing better than a lot of other black men. She's dang near 60. She was married before, by the way. Winter is coming for men. The only reason winter may not come as hard for men is because men can always run to their mother's house, to their baby mama's house, to their auntie's house, and they do. Because if you watch those court videos, every time those guys get out of jail, it's always to a woman's house. Where are you going to be staying? Oh, I'm going to be staying with my mother. Oh, I'm going to be staying with my girl. I'm going to be staying with my auntie. I kid you not. I kid you not. Here's another bandit who does the same shit. Let me bring it down here.
Charlamagne is very intelligent. He's very intelligent. So for him to have a fake doctor on the show, for him to have Les Hilarious on the show, and these people that he knows.
A failed comedian. Corey Holcomb. And what does he have in common with O'Shea Duke? With Dookie Man. O'Shea Dookie Man. Let me show you what he has in common. Give me one second here. Oh, we going in on it. We going in and we going in. We going in. We going in. We going in. That's O'Shea Duke Jackson. That's him. Dark skin, big ass nose. Look, hey, I'm just describing the content, okay? Dark skin, big ass nose, evil eyes, no hair, half my age, looking double my age. That's O'Shea. Okay? Let me bring it back. His buddy Kev, who hit the wall hard. Oh, well. What do they all have in common? Let's just say they're not the most attractive men we've walked across. Not at all. Nope. Not one bit. Even the guy down here in the corner, he's not that great. Yeah, that's what repellers are about. That's what repel men are about.
No, kicks up negative dust. I'm like, okay, that's his angle. That's what he want to do. So
Maybe
it's a messy show now, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's calling. He was calling Cam's. Yeah, well, anybody. Bottom line, there you go. So you've heard about Brian Mcknight, so I won't even dive in that. Oh, remember this guy? Wait, did you mention this guy right here?
I honestly can't believe I'm about to say this out loud, but
wait, where is he? Okay, I need to get a picture of the guy they're talking about. Hold on one second. Wait, no, that's not what I wanted. Okay, let me pause that right there for a second. Okay.
Recent years. That's the reality for El Funky, a pro-Trump rapper whose real name is Eliezer Marquez Duaney. His journey took him from Cuba to Miami, but now he's facing deportation back to his homeland. In early May 2020,
Winter is coming, winter is here. Winter is coming, winter is here. Fellas, look at it.
25, El Funky's residency was denied under the Cuban Adjustment Act. This law, amended back in 2017, no longer provides exemptions for those entering the U.S. without a visa. Despite this, El Funky is determined to stay vocal, stating that returning puts his life in danger. He's made a passionate plea on Instagram, reaching out to his Cuban brothers and sisters and members of the U.S. Congress for support.
Reaching out to his brothers and sisters after pretty much dumping them. And he's asking them for support. It reminds me of that thing that Yeezy would say. There's a time when a black man is low, when a black sister helps him, brings him up. Remember that shit? Angela Reddick says, welcome, Angela. It's good seeing you. They are all unattractive, bitter, hateful towards women, especially black women bars. Exactly that.
Now, while some Cuban politicians who once supported him are silent, Representative Maria Elvira Salazar has stepped up, calling him a political refugee who deserves protection. She's actively working to ensure the U.S. citizen.
Let me tell you this. He is not the only pro-Trump person who got trumped. Anyway, who got trumped. Winter is coming, and it's even bleeding into other communities, but more for black men. Remember when black men were saying they wanted, what was it? That it was a bill. They wanted a bill that expressed their love for their children. What was it? that expressed their love for their children. It told you everything you needed to know. It was the first thing on their list. Oh, yes, that's right. Somebody put it in the chat. I'll break it down for you. Child support forgiveness. I don't hear them talking that shit anymore about it. I don't see them going up to Trump saying, hey, what happened to child support forgiveness? Do you guys? I don't even hear it. They were talking that shit before the election, weren't they? Child support forgiveness. Damn, I sound good tonight. Les Plateau says, are we in the alternative universe or are handsome nicer? I've been with a guy now for a year and I don't know why he's so lovely. I think he watches Red Pill to the opposite. Maybe it's Florida. Susie Bear, sorry I'm back, Angela Reddick. So there's arrogant and unattractive. They make my eyes hurt, and I hate everything about the way they speak, their cadence, their syntax. That's bars right there. Yeah. Child support forgiveness. Notice how they don't ask the man for it. They wanted a woman to give them. They wanted a woman who they teetered around whether she was black or not to give them child support forgiveness. But they keep their traps shut now, don't they? Those same men keep their traps shut. Isn't that something? They were talking hard smack about her, remember? She's looking pretty good now, huh, fellas? I mean, don't get me wrong, you won't still vote for her because you're not going to get the misogyny you need from her. But now, dude is coming up with some no-knock type shit. The president, he's coming up with some no-knock type shit. He's literally, if you thought you had a target on your back now, fellas, oh man, it's gotten bigger. You know, there's different rules now. It's different rules. Different rules, folks. So let me go ahead and dive back into this. I just wanted to bring that up. Okay. Well, okay, let's go back to this guy. Let's see what he has to say. Tennessee Brando.
Why there are people in this world who thinks that they can support Trump and he won't do what he says he's going to do to them, that somehow they'll be the ones that gets the free pass. He looked right at them and said, I do not care about you. I just want your vote. He said it to their faces, and now they're truly in the find out stage. And I really have a hard time sympathizing for people like this because they were just so over the top stupid. I don't care how many anthems this dude wrote. I don't care how many statements he
even knows. He even
made. It's not going to stop Trump from doing what he wants to do, and it's not going to stop anyone from sending him on out of here. So I want to read you the story here over on Politico. It's crazy. And then we're going to talk more about why these people honestly believe that Trump cares about them and he won't do anything to them. They somehow think that they're safe just because they stand up their own.
It says black men only bully black women. That is bars right there. That is so true. They are afraid of other men and other women too, especially whitey men. Exactly.
Stage with him. I promise you, he doesn't know this guy. If they've ever met, he doesn't remember this guy. This guy was nobody to him, just somebody he could use for the moment and move forward. And that's all Donald Trump has ever been about. But yeah, here it is. This is the headline that I got cracked up and had trouble reading. The pro Cuban rapper, the pro Trump Cuban rapper about to be deported. So here we go. In 2021, like many Cubans and Cuban Americans that summer, Florida Senator Marco Rubio was jamming out to Patria y Vida. Hope I'm saying that right. The Grammy-winning protest anthem that became a rallying cry for dissidents in Cuba. The hip-hop song, whose title translates to Homeland and Life, and that'd probably be easier for me to say, Homeland and Life, directly rebuked Fidel Castro. That was the cause that resonated with Rubio, the son of Cuban exiles.
Now we need to go back home to Fidel Castro because he voted for. He voted for.
Much that in 2023 he introduced the Patria y Vida Act, protecting against tyrants. And expanding internet service into Cuba. So if we're going to talk about protecting against tyrants, OL Funky is learning the hard way that he has no protection from tyrants, no matter.
It depends who you're calling the tyrant, because really, quite honestly, they're at the very least about even. If we were to look at it, I mean, who's really the tyrant? You know, a dude who wants to literally bring back 60s types of stuff in the black community. Did you hear his speech about the black community? He says, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to stop crime in the black community." That's what he's gonna do. Okay.
No matter how many crappy songs he writes. So now one of the song's central voices, the Cuban rapper El Funky, faces removal from the United States. Earlier this month, U.S. immigration authorities denied his residency application under the 1966 Cuban Adjustment Act. He has less than 30 days now to leave the United States or face deportation and likely imprisonment in Cuba, since his music helped fuel the largest anti-government protest in Cuba for decades. I want to scroll on down here.
Whoa. Okay. Well, he can't go back there. If he's wise, he'll fly elsewhere and call it a day. If you want a perfect example of winner, this is it. If you want a perfect example of winner, let me bring him up right here. Is that him? Is that him? I want to make sure I put him on the screen. There he is. Okay. If you want a perfect example of winner, this is it. This is it. Winner has arrived at gate 354. Winter has arrived at gate 354, and he better get on that plane or he could be in jail. That's what you get for making the wrong choices. Dang, that sounded good tonight. I mean, Tiffany breaks it down like this. Susie Bear, thank you. My name is born of creative parents for the firstborn, T, from my dad's name of Thomas, if from his middle name. Oh, how cute is that? Name Clifford and Nee. Ah, that's so cool. That's so cool, Tiffany. I hear that. That's what you call a real name. Yeah, why seek now says, oh wow, they seek exile here to save their lives. Exactly. After talking all that smack. That's a raw deal. His offing will be on the dark web. Yep. Yep. Susie Bear says, and here you go, black men, right? They tried to hurry up and join conservative and Republican parties so that they could appear like upstanding human beings so they can have access to white women. That's the whole goal. Yep. Cynthia G made it clear, and she was right. And you think about it, and it's true, because a lot of brothers, they passed away from seeking out other women. Let's just put it that way. And Yeah. And it's fake conservatism these dudes are in. It's not the conservative thinking they want, because I'll tell you why. Number one, flying to another country for sex is not a conservative thing. Let's just get that out of the way. That's not a conservative thing. It never was. Okay, that's one thing. Okay, having multiple sexual partners is not a conservative thing in its most basic form. It's not. But that's the primary reason why these men are mad right now. They're not getting either one. So it just shows you they were really fake conservatives. They were never really conservative. What they were, though, were misogynists. They're mixing the words misogynist and conservative together because in some contexts it means the same thing. I'm not saying that being conservative is misogynist, because there are women that are conservative, but the way that a woman thinks about conservatism, a Black woman thinks about conservatism, is a lot different than how a Black man thinks of conservatism or other races of people think of conservatism. That's how that's going down. Because being conservative could be you pay your bills on time. It can have no political connotation whatsoever. You pay your bills on time. You don't do anything risky in life. You don't take chances. You get educated. You're looking forward to having a family and living a home with a picket fence life, that kind of stuff. That's not a political conservatism. That is the real conservatism, where you don't take chances and you don't do crimes, which makes it ironic that literally everybody is weird stuff's going on. But I digress. I digress hard. Let me go ahead and break out something else here real quick. I'll show you what this man right here is probably sees himself as being conservative. But let's see where he's at.
Worthy defense, Andrew Salinas, Salinas.
All right. And we are here now due to Mr. Kabir having a bond violation. This is our third bond violation report that we have had. Our first bond violation. So I guess let me start up.
Well, let me not stop. I want to start where is he at? Where is he at? That's not the one I want. Hold on one second.
Sir, I go to sleep at 8 o'clock every night, sir. It's just the 10 o'clock ones, and I get my 5 o'clock ones first thing in the morning, Your Honor.
Then you come here and you ask.
Mr. Nealon is in Cancun until Monday next week, Judge.
Okay, no, that's not the one either. I can't find it right now. I'll look for it later. I'll put it on tomorrow's show. Okay, let's go here. Just want you to, that's O'Shea Duke Jackson. You know, he is the pillar of red pill. Now you see why they complain so much. Look at him. Look at him. Yep, that's him. Let me get back into the mix, though. Oh, here we go.
Feud. It's an all-out implosion, and the shockwaves are ripping through every corner of Trump's crumbling regime. At the epicenter of the wreckage, Stephen Miller, Once the cold-blooded architect of Trump's hardline agenda, now reduced to political roadkill in a feud he never saw coming. For a week, Miller's been locked in a vicious tug-of war with Musk over the future of Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill. But then the battle got personal, brutal even. Musk didn't just torch Miller's policy positions in public. He took his wife. Yes, Elon Musk poached.
Oh man, when winter is coming, when winter is coming, that is crazy, isn't it? Winter is coming. You can't make this stuff up.
Katie Miller straight out of Trump's inner circle and into his own orbit.
And just when it seemed like Miller couldn't be more humiliated, Musk twisted the knife with a cold, calculated move that made their private feud explosively public. We'll break it all down. But first, if you're here for raw truth and unfiltered analysis, smash that like button and hit subscribe.
This is only getting hotter. Let's rewind to where it all began, with Stephen Miller's attack on Doge and a savage rebuttal from none other than Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett that set
Jasmine, we're going to be doing a live stream on her, by the way. Here we go.
This entire powder keg ablaze.
Watch this.
You can't just bring in your good little friend who helped you get elected to the tune of $300 billion or $300 million and say, hey, guy, you get to do whatever you want to, despite what these duly elected people have done. But I digress. But I am going to get back to Elon, because Elon is looming over every single Doge hearing. You know why? Because that's supposedly what Elon was heading up. But now they don't want to talk about Elon, because Elon now is a little upset. There's a family spat that's obviously going on, and it is going to play out, it seems like, all over Twitter. But nevertheless, let's talk about some of the things that we should be talking about. And you know what? Every time I come in here, I really do wonder, what is the point? Like, why are we here? Because it doesn't seem like we're doing efficiency, right? Like,
Right.
Have we seen Elon? No. Have we seen anybody that works for Doge? No. But we're in the Doge subcommittee and we're talking to everybody but the Doge people. So to hear the comments about Stacey Abrams, it really got me going.
She knows how to tear up a room. I love it. I love it. A lot of people love her too. A lot. She's probably one of the most popular politicians ever. She tears it up.
And a lot of times when we come into this hearing room, it's all about politics. And it made me think that there was an issue most likely with Stacey, because someone actually brought up the fact that Stacey has run for governor a couple of times. And it seems like there's a gubernatorial race that's coming up in Georgia, and nobody knows whether or not Stacey is going to run. So why not muddy the water if we can, to hopefully keep a strong Black woman down? But again, I digress. So let's talk about the things that we could be talking about while we sit here in the Doge committee. It seems like we could be talking about.
So first off, you don't get to buy a
Yeah, she gets, you know.
presidency. You don't drop hundreds of millions of dollars into someone's campaign and then waltz into Washington like it's your personal startup. But that's exactly what Elon Musk did. He bankrolled the Trump machine, and in return, he expected to run the show. And for a while, he did, until the house of cards started falling. Now Musk is sulking, throwing tantrums on Twitter, and suddenly, his name is radioactive in every Doge hearing. The guy who was supposed to be the architect of efficiency has vanished. No appearances, no accountability, nothing. And yet somehow we're still having these hearings. Now let's talk about the real kicker. No one from Doge even showed up. Think about that. We're supposedly here to investigate efficiency, to get answers, and not a single person involved with Doge has the spine to face questions. Instead, we're stuck watching elected officials dance around the real issues, dragging in irrelevant names like Stacey Abrams just to score cheap political points. Let's be real, that wasn't a policy discussion. That was a targeted political attack. Stacey Abrams wasn't in the room. She wasn't on the agenda. But the moment someone mentioned her name, it was clear what this was.
Yeah.
A preemptive strike against a strong Black woman who might dare run for office again. They're laying the groundwork for character assassination, not oversight. And honestly, it's disgusting, it's predictable, and it's exhausting.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a trip. I'm telling you, winter's coming. Winter's coming. Winter is coming. I'm going to say the ex-con stuff for tomorrow. Let's see what we have here. Jury. Oh, let me drop the link. I think it's time to drop it. It's been an hour and a half. Let me drop the link just in case somebody would like to say something. Sorry it took me so long. I kind of got carried away. Got a little carried away, that's all. Yeah, so just in case you don't know, what we went over today is this. DDG lost his motion to steal a child from Halle Bailey, because I say a child because really, quite honestly, you guys might think, well, no, maybe he does care about his child. He doesn't, because I've seen this before, because Blueface did the same thing, where he was showing up at Krishan Rock's house at all times of the night, instead of picking up the child at some decent time. These men are just using the children as basically a remote control, an attempt at a remote control. It doesn't work all the time, but that's what they're trying to do. I'm just telling you right now. So yeah, so let me put him on there. I'm just going to put his picture up. Come on, there he is. Yeah, that's DDG. So basically, it's the same, because really, I had hopes from him for a minute, even though he dissed Halle at the beginning. I was hoping maybe he just slipped a little bit and he was a little insecure. No, it turns out he turns out to be a full force socio, at least in my opinion. Kind of like this guy right here.
Big thanks to Claude Mcknight's tasteless and self-aggrandizing announcement on TikTok that frankly was not his to make.
This dude right here who had a great voice, but now he sounds ugly as hell. Brian Mcknight.
In my opinion, he inserted himself and used Nico's death as an opportunity instead of letting him pass with respect and dignity. It has instead turned into a circus, a mockery of a life now lost, making this tragedy into a reality show type drama. While that was unfortunate.
Remember now, he was the one who started all of this crap about 2 years ago.
My family and I flew home to Maui and had a private memorial remembering him and all the good times. The last time he and I spoke, we offered him all the help we could provide. We had the #1 oncologist on deck for him and a team of specialists on standby with private care in our home. He and his mother declined.
He didn't have
the door of communication.
Let me pause that. He didn't have a father's love. I mean, for a son to refuse a father's gifts of oncologists and all this other stuff, it tells you how much, how terrible their relationship was. All his son wanted was a good relationship with his father, and he couldn't provide that. What he could provide, however, Brian Mcknight, is defaming his own children on live TV, on the internet, instead of just being, even if the stuff was going on like it was, being the silent one. He is, and remember now, I was a huge Brian Mcknight fan until I started seeing how he treated not only his children, girls, but his children, men. He was utterly just disgusting. Utterly disgusting. And it's funny because he says you need to chop away the evil in your life. And he was referring to his own children, not realizing he was implicating himself because they came from him. They came from him. So he's either a horrible father or he's just plain evil. Plain evil. Susie Bear breaks it down like this. As far as I am concerned, Elon and Trump still have the same agenda, that is to enslave the American people while keeping us distracted and at each other's throats. Bars. They want to enslave in their own way, and that's the only disagreement they have, is that they want to enslave, they just want to do it their way. And Darnell says Stacey Abrams should not run again. She will be a three-time loser in her political career. That's kind of interesting, Darnell, because maybe it's bad timing for her right now, because there is a regime, not a regime being run at the moment. But at the same time, a lot of Trump was a multi-loser as well. So he was able to get around it. Obviously, his dynamics are different, but yeah. But no, I mean, it really depends. It could be the best timing for her or the worst timing for her. If people have learned their lessons, she'll win. If people haven't learned their lessons, she'll lose. It's that simple. Brian YS Economist says Brian Mcknight proves to a T what Corey Holcomb says about women and their kids. Exactly, with them. Hate mom, hate kids. You know something? I gotta throw that up there. Let me see if I can find Corey's clip real quick. Let's see if I can bring it up real quick. Oh man, it's funny. Okay. Okay, where is it? Where is it? What I didn't get this. Corey Holcomb goes in on his daughter. There we go.
I'm gonna make another daughter. I don't give a fuck.
I don't fuck with you.
He doesn't care about his own daughter. I hope I got that out of there before. Okay. And it's funny how evil people always call other people evil. I can't find that clip. Wait, this might be it. Because he had that same expression. Let me see if this is it right here.
Trolling. You trolling.
No, don't do that shit, girl. You know what's up. I fuck with you for real.
That's the funky bitch who done tried her best to bring drama to a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? And y'all motherfuckers.
Gutter mouth. That's what his name should be. Corsia. Good to see Corsia in the house. Hey peeps, just rolling in. Oh, from Vegas. I hear that. I hope you had a great time.
Life really work.
What's up with their audio?
Let me tell y'all motherfuckers something, man. I don't know if I can play this shit from.
I mean that Guttermouth. That's my new nickname for him, Guttermouth, because it's accurate. I don't think he would argue that. I don't think he would argue that. Okay, let me bring this up. Let me bring it up.
Yeah. Oh man, y'all. All right.
Okay, I first of all, Eva Evans is funny as heck. I'm just gonna play a clip of her, a small one, but she is heck funny. But
the CIA has confirmed that aliens are on Earth, y'all. Yeah, there's like evidence, physical evidence is real. People are freaking out. Are they gonna invade Earth? Republicans look, are they gonna take the jobs? I'm excited though. I'm excited for the aliens to be here. I just hope they brought eligible bachelors. I really hope so.
Henry Mars.
So I really hope so, because Earth needs new men. Oh no, we need new men. We really do. I would definitely date an alien. Absolutely. Let him be 6'4" with no kids, bitch. Okay? Yeah. I'm sucking both of his dicks.
Oh, I forgot that part. Let me move on. Let me move on. But okay, let me go back over here, over here, over here. Oh yeah, don't forget. Let's here's a crew. Here's a crew. Look at him. 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 There we go. Yep. The ugly crew, inside and out. Back to Brian Mcknight. Here we go.
Was open and remained open until his death. To the self-proclaimed mama bear, may God have mercy on your soul for not allowing him to accept that help, not allowing him to use that line of communication. There is great comfort in knowing God knows the truth and the totality of the whole story. I'm truly thankful for the immense peace God has given me, and I've left everything in his hands. I have a clear conscience. The only judgment that matters is God's.
He has no conscience. He will never accept that he was a horrible father. And the reason why he has a new family now is just to how narcissists work. They get their supply. He used his kids for a narcissistic supply and then moves on. Classic narcissism.
Well, God's may be the only judgment that matters. We're going to judge you too. That.
Yeah, okay.
I promise. Why are you breaking this like?
Okay, this is the problem. This is the problem that a lot of Black women go through. Check this out right here. Check this clip out right here. Buddy just crashed out.
Like this. Now, why are you doing this? Oh, for real? Can you please leave me alone? Why am I breaking this? Can you please let me close the door? Can you stop? For real, Rosie? Why are you doing this? I've asked you numerous times to stop. Because you feel for your safety, right? Because I want you to stop. Now you're setting me up, right? No, I'm
I got to see that again.
Now, why are you doing this? Oh, for real? Can you please leave me alone? Why am I breaking this? Can you please let me close the door? Can you stop? For real, Rosie? Why are you doing this? I've asked you numerous times to stop. Because you feel for your safety, right? Because I want you to stop. Now you're setting me up, right? No, I'm not. Okay. Woo. Okay. Okay.
That's a crash out. That's a crash out. Whoa. Oh, man. That's a crash out. Man. Yes. See this. Oh, man. That's, ladies and gentlemen, that's Winter. He found out Winter was right around the corner. She broke up with him. Never break, my advice, never break up with a man in person. No, you can't do that anymore. Doesn't go well. Does not go well. Susie Bear. He better hope that his homeboys can provide care for him. He talks like he sleeps with men and he's too aggressive and disrespectful towards women. Not to be, exactly. She's dealing with a collapsing narc, basically. Basically. Tiffany Jackson, exactly. Tiffany Jackson says, Susie Bear, I can't imagine sleeping with him in the first place. Yeah. I mean, that's crazy to me. That is crazy. Oh, okay. Looks like some bots have entered. I mean, not entered the room, but somewhere else. Yeah. Let me see if I have one more.
He's coming. What do you mean? Get the fuck out. Get out.
Apple of winter is coming, or i.e., crash out.
Get the fuck out of this forest, bitch.
Don't throw shit at me.
Get the fuck out.
Don't throw shit at me.
Get the fuck out, bitch.
Something to pick up here. Number one, she's saying get out of my apartment. So he was staying with her, which is quite common, unfortunately. Susie Bear says, quit torturing us with these terrible pictures. I understand. One more. Just this one right here. Even the dudes, look at him. Yeah, thorough background check. Thank you, Angela. Okay, that was the last horrible picture I'll play for today. I think that's something. I think we done. for tonight. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Black women need to stop settling. The men know that you have them outnumbered and they're using it against you. They definitely are. That's what's going down. All right. I'd like to thank everybody for coming through tonight. This was a pretty decent live. I think the chat was on fire. I know the chat was on fire. And let me do what I usually do. No, I'm gonna use one of my favorite vids. Let's see if I still have it in here. Yeah, why not? I think this is it. I think I have it on the other one. But anyway, let me leave everybody with this.
Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming and you?
Oh man, I remember that. Okay, let me see what kind of music I got up in here. Things have changed on this thing in StreamYard. Dang. Okay, here we go. Let's go with
All right. Shout out to everybody in the chat. All right, everybody. Shout out to Tiffany Jackson, Susie Bear, Angela Weather. Why is freaking Alex? Let's Talk Toe. Tiffany Jackson. Henry Ross. For StreamYard. Darnell Elliott. Angela Renner. Sonya Fleck. I'd like to thank everybody for coming through. And a mom. Oh, and definitely the friends. Willie as well. Everyone have a good night.